Hey everyone, we have Akin and Stefan here. Akin is helping students learn machine learning by having them race autonomous cars online. And Akin will be interviewed by Stefan, who was the CEO and co-founder of Starsky Robotics. They made driverless trucks a reality. And now, Akin, you can take it from here.
Sure. As you mentioned, I'm Akin. I'm the CEO and co-founder of AP Racing. And what we essentially do is teach students machine learning by having them race autonomous cars online. Prior to this, I was at Zoox and Cruise, two of the leading autonomous vehicle companies in the world. One thing that I understood clearly is that while the industry is moving forward really fast, there's still a lot of help that's going to be needed in the future. Help that there's no concentrated effort being put in place to support that type of future. In this case, our education system is just not really up to par to support training a lot of new engineers so that they have AI expertise. Essentially, what we want to do is just make AI programming really fun, and so that students end up being more effective in the future. And so the way we're doing that, we've built an end-to-end support system for students to, one, learn machine learning, two, apply it by racing self-driving cars online, and three, they have an entire community in which they can learn from each other and support each other the entire way. And our business model is essentially each student pays $10 a month so that they get a chance to essentially just take part in the races. All the curriculum and the core stuff is essentially free, but we want to be able to provide that experience for them through and through. Our total addressable market is high school students, and that's about 200 million. And the reason we're focusing on that is because we've had experience working with that particular segment for over 4 years. So we've talked to educators, we know exactly what the gripes are, and we believe we're in a position prime to capture as much as we possibly can there. But that's not to say that AP Racing is not open for everybody, because it is open for everybody. Our initial focus is just high school students, but we're going to also capture college students, professionals, and general enthusiasts who are looking to essentially increase their skill sets in a few years when it's going to be most needed.
Great. So, I mean, I guess at the core of it, what is AP Racing? Are you guys like an online class? Are you a game? Like, what is it in like in the shortest possible version of it?
The shortest possible version, AP Racing is an autonomous race league in which students learn machine learning. And as I mentioned, it's end-to-end support. They learn AI programming, and they apply it by racing online.
Cool. Yeah. And if I was the parent of a high schooler, why would I want them to play this game or interact with this product to use it?
Look, we're not going to be competing with other video games. That we're not fooling ourselves. We're not trying to fool students, nor can they be fooled.
You're not Fortnite.
Exactly. But what we do know is that, one, they're eager for supplements to increase their education outside of school. And then two, they do need something to actually apply those skills. Experiential learning is super useful for them. The best way I like to compare it to is you playing a sport. If you want to play basketball, you don't read a book about basketball, you just play it. So this is their opportunity just to play with machine learning.
And if, on the other hand, I was a high schooler, why would I want to use this? Why do I want to play it? Why not just play more Fortnite?
Because when you play Fortnite, you're competing with billions of other students in a game that really has no upside outside of once you're done. But if you're playing a game in which you're gaining a skill set, sure, you're not the best at the game, but at the end of the day, you've come out with new skills that most of your other friends don't have. And you've put yourself in a position after high school and college to make a lot of money.
So Udacity has been around for a while. They have a lot of educational programs to make a fair amount of money. And very famously, they have a course teaching people how to be self-driving engineers. Whether I'm a high schooler or the parent of a high schooler, why would I want to use AP Racing over Udacity?
You don't want to use Udacity over AP Racing. Udacity just teaches you. It just does that. It teaches you. You got the basics out of it. But AP Racing takes it a step further. It teaches you, and then you get to actually play around with those skills and be a master of those skills.
So, I mean, is there like what type of money is there in an educational platform, an educational game like this? Like how, like, yeah, there are a bunch of high schoolers, but not all high schoolers are going to want to write code to watch simulated cars drive around a track. Like what type of money do you think you can actually make here?
The e-learning market overall is a $200 billion market, and that's only growing, even pre-COVID, but now it's growing at about 8% or 8% per year. And with high schoolers, the reason that it's a relatively small market at $200 million, but we know we can capture a lot of value there quickly and then continue to expand from there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you want other things I should be asking?
Um, I have one more thing to add, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, the easiest way to think about it is just in terms of who we are and like the potential for it is, just imagine masterclass plus robotic racing online. Masterclass has already a wide reach, and we want to do the exact same thing, essentially.
Actually, let me throw another one in that I think is going to be
Yeah.
going to let you use that as an answer. So I mean, there already are things like First Robotics and different student robotics competitions that exist out there. How does AP Racing interact with those? How does AP Racing fit in this broader world of online learning?
They all have their own specific niches. First Robotics is highly dependent on a proprietary set of robotic materials, one that is really expensive, and it's also what we're being really conscious of is reducing the barrier to entry to get into a very high-tech field. So that's one.
What's that mean by really expensive? Like what types of schools can have First Robotics teams?
Private schools, public schools with a lot of funding. It costs several $1,000s to have a First Robotics team, and that team is not small. It's pretty large, so it's easy to get lost in the sauce. You're only gonna have a few students, as the core of the team, whereas in AP Racing, the individual student is the focus. And now eventually we'll be moving to like a team format, but there's gonna be no room for a student to hide away and depend on somebody else to do the work.
So in other words, like any of those group projects we might have had in college where you did all the work and you had a couple of people who slacked, you're saying that's not possible with AP Racing.
Exactly. And that's not to say students will hide. It's more on the focus on the students who is highly engaged and who's highly enthusiastic about getting into something like this.